what's up, y'all? This is Amy Carey with Cobra-Source.com, your complete online martial arts, entertainment, and lifestyle magazine. I am here with Rommel Gargoles. He is an exceptionally talented competitor here at the 2013 NBL Super Grand World Games. Rommel, let's start off with where are you from and where have you lived and where do you live now?
Sure. My name is Rommel Gargoles. I was born in the Philippines. Grew up in New Jersey, and now I live in Texas.
You've been moved around just a little bit?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I understand that martial arts has really taken you a lot of different places in the world. What are some of the more interesting places, and how did you end up there?
Sure. This year I got to travel to Tokyo, Singapore. Tokyo is one of those places I've always, wanted to go. It's kind of, tracing back to, your roots in the martial arts. This year also I got to travel to Ireland for Rommel World Championships. Also I got to travel to Italy this year for WKC World Championships. So, never in my life that I thought martial arts was, going to take me to all these amazing places. So it's great to be able to do what I love to do and travel at the same time.
How did you get involved in martial arts? When you said that about that you didn't think that would take you places, I don't think any parent ever suspects that could happen, so how did you get involved?
Sure, as a kid I was actually a big Van Damme fan and Chuck Norris fan. I've always wanted to do it as a kid, and I begged my parents, but when I was a kid we didn't really have that much family, so I started a church actually with my cousin, and ever since then, I've just never stopped. So, and here I am today, teaching martial arts and competing, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
So, you mentioned Chuck Norris. I understand that you teach at his school. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I do.
Right now I teach for Chuck Norris. It's a program called Kickstart. Kickstart is a program where we are actually in the middle school. So it's not a commercial school where we're charging students. So we work with a lot of at-risk kids. And let me tell you, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I've taught a lot of very successful commercial schools, and this one you really get to just go back and just teach karate. It's not about the money, it's not about the business. You're really helping kids who need help. And I absolutely love it, and I want to do it as long as I can.
That's going to have to be a priceless opportunity. I understand that you were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I was. It was, quite an honor. This year I got inducted into the Masters Hall of Fame as a Lifetime Achievement Award, which quite an honor because I'm not that old. But if you ask my students, I'm like ancient. They're like, Master G, you're so old, But it definitely was quite an honor, especially to be inducted into that Hall of Fame along some other great names that's been inducted to Masters Hall of Fame.
What brings you back to Super Grands every year?
Super Grands is like family. When you find a home, it's always tough to leave, but it's great to see everybody year after year. I took some time off, about 6 years. Made a comeback last year. It was, definitely something I wanted to do with my students. My students got into competing, and I figured, what better way to set an example by coming here and competing.
Your students compete in the NBL, and we talked a little bit about what the NBL offers as far as for especially for underbelts and people who are not elite.
Sure, NBL is great because the tournaments are broken down into different regionals. So that allows everybody to be able to hit a competition without having to travel all the way across the country, because it does get pretty expensive. So for me, it's definitely the circuit to compete in, because it allows me and my students to be able to compete together. It's not as fun, and I've been there, I've done that. So it's not about me, it's about creating these moments with my students and seeing them achieve their goals and watching them grow and succeed.
What has martial arts brought into your life outside of martial arts? What opportunities have it brought?
Sure, being in the martial arts, it's allowed me to, be featured in different magazines. I've done a couple of TV shows. I've had some movie offers, so it's definitely opened up a lot of doors that otherwise, wouldn't have been open, offered to me hasn't been for martial arts.
Is there anything we should be watching for?
Um, Currently, right now, no, but there's definitely something that I'll be working on pretty soon.
I'm really looking forward to it. You're such a successful competitor. Tell us what kind of attitude and hard, work ethic that takes.
I think definitely, practice what you preach. I'm on my students about that, about definitely never giving up. Nobody's perfect. Nothing ever goes as planned. But the point is, you do your best. And for me, I love God, so I definitely say my prayers and just try to listen the best that I can.
So Rommel, tell me what kind of physical conditioning that it takes to compete at the level that you compete at.
Sure. This is a very active activity that we do. So definitely endurance plays a big part. Strength training is very important, but I think equally as important is the mental training. I think a lot of people tend to neglect that because everything has to all be about physical. But I think being mentally prepared and focused, training yourself in different situations, whether, okay, right now, I'm tied. I'm tied for the gold medal, and I'm just exhausted. I've done 10 other divisions. So I think it's very important. Really, with me right now, my biggest setback is my knee. I actually wasn't even supposed to be competing at Super Grands, this year. I was scheduled to get my surgery December 11th. I've actually been competing with a torn ACL and a medial meniscus tear. So it's something I've been dealing with, for the past 6 years. People that know me I'm a very stubborn person. That's part of the reason I actually retired in 2007. I was like, I'm done. I've done this, I've done that. There's really no other things for me to do. But honestly, my students, they inspired me. So that's part of the reason why I came back last year and competed. Ended well last year and was able to win 2 world titles. And this year is kind of, bittersweet that this will be my last Super Grands for at least another year or two. And this year, even with the injury, I was able to win 3 major world events. I won Rommel Worlds. I also won gold at WKC. And now to end off the year with the world title here at Super Grands, I couldn't ask for any more. So coming the new year, it's just, getting ready for my surgery, and I'm ready. I embrace it, and I know that I'm going to come back bigger and stronger than ever.
You had a loss last night in your division. Tell us how that felt and how do you overcome that?
Sure. For me, a loss doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It's definitely something that you can learn. For me, my goal last night was just, going out there, doing my best. Considering that, I do have an injury, but I try not to think about that. And Sang Gao, he's an amazing. But the guy's from China. The guy was probably, doing his, training in his mother's room or something like that. Chinese competitors are just amazing, and for me it was an honor to be able to be on that stage with them. Win or loss, for me, I wanted to go out there and do the best that I can, and you got to be a humble. You got to take losing okay as well.
Yeah. So Rommel, is there anybody you'd like to say thank you to, give gratitude to?
Absolutely. First, I'd like to thank God. I'd like to thank my family, my parents, my brother, my sister. I'd like to thank my team Kickstart. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of my students for inspiring me each and every day.
Well, I appreciate your time very early in the morning. This is Amy with Cobra-Source.com, your complete online martial arts, entertainment, lifestyle magazine, and I just got to hang out with Rommel Gargoles.